Hello, Uta here of Trans Widow Utahagen YouTube channel and WordPress blog, utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com. Always in the notes down below. I think this is really probably my last flower. This is a cosmos. and all the rest of them are bent over. We had a bit of a hard frost last night, and unfortunately now we have some kind of bad air situation where it smells like smoke from a fire, and um, and so. Uh, and so I don't know how much time I can spend outside. Anyway, so I wanted to just say some words about the foundation for this part one regarding time and how you spend your time um, as the first point in my wellness checklist. And this is informed not only by my own recovery process, recovering from, this anxiety I developed over money when Nettie committed financial fraud twice in court to get out of paying child support and his half of in-state college tuition. So I developed a little bit of an obsessive worry about money. And as I said in my last video, I got diagnosed, and for a while I was on, some medications, but I don't like those. Lexapro was the last one. It's an antidepressant, but my problem was anxiety. So I don't feel that I was depressed. I was just having, anxiety and sometimes feeling like I'm having heart palpitations, that type of thing. I haven't had those kind of panic attacks now in years, especially since moving to the curated woods and spending so much time outside. And I'm just realizing how healing gardening is and how healing walking is. And I especially recommend combination of walking, if you can, brisk walking for 45 minutes at least a day. And I do like these Lecky sticks, Leki. They are the sticks that kind of got invented for summer training of athletes who in the winter do cross-country skiing or Nordic skiing. This kind of walking with the sticks is also called Nordic walking. And it puts up your metabolism something like 15 or 20%. And it also gives you a slight workout of your upper body, and you emphasize the cross body diagonals through that. And as well, when you're walking, you are able to be more uplifted and upright because you have those 4 points of contact with the ground as opposed to just your 2 feet. And there was an experiment at, I think, the University of Rochester or something like that, that many years ago, maybe 10 years ago, they had this walking experiment with an older cohort. And they had one group of people that were just walking alone, and then another group of people, these were all elderly people, and another group of people that were doing walking with a partner and specifically engaging in conversation. It was the walking and talking group, and it was the solo walking group. And then they did various cognitive tests, and I think they, asked people for measures of happiness versus depressed feelings or something like that. And actually, they were responsible researchers. And they decided, based on a few months of this work with the two groups, that they needed to just stop the group that was just doing solo walking, because the group that was doing walking and talking was measurably better on the cognitive and emotional scales. So Uh, and I just, you see this with children, and we have many, many traditions all over the world of going on hikes and so on. And it's really important to keep on walking, and it helps your brain. And um, the other piece of this is I think that especially for men, this fitness workout routine that can be accessed not too expensively online called Primal Fitness, I think it's probably very good for both your mind and body. And they're doing this kind of unusual thing of having people creep along the ground on all fours, going forwards and backwards. And they have actual physiological or physiotherapy reasons why that's really good for you. And I don't think these people are just in it for the money. It's the Tap brothers, and this is the exercise routine that our dude Paul tuned into based on my advice, and he even said he was doing a little bit of it with his dad, and so that kind of a mind body oriented movement routine is really, really useful, and especially if it does focus on making your abdominals strong. Now, I think particularly a more female oriented wellness movement system is my Uta Hagen Wellness playlist, Movements for Wellness playlist, which you can find by clicking on Uta Hagen, Uta Hagen title over here, and then there'll be a playlist bar, and you can find that. And I think both of these, both Primal Fitness and my system, can be done without a lot of equipment and without a huge space. So I particularly think that for these teens who are, hopefully in a healthy process of weaning themselves away from the gender club and the friends who are captured, I think it's important to be able to spend time really with yourself also, and doing some exercises, doing healthy things, and that will help you to just sort of shift into a different lane. Now, why do I really strongly believe that I'm right about this focus on time and how you spend time? Because I remember there was a detransitioner. She had actually damaged her ribs when she was a teenager by wearing a binder. And GC Centric, I think. I can't remember her name now, but I think she had a channel called GC Centric. For a while at the beginning of Graham Linehan's The Mess We're In, she was on that. And she posted something on her channel about how when she detransitioned, fortunately, I don't think she I know she had no surgeries. I'm not sure if she took testosterone. It would have been for a short time because she didn't ruin her voice. And she realizes, I think, that she's a lesbian, and she's, doing a lot of reading of, lesbian studies, history, those kind of things. And she said, I had time to do hobbies. After I stopped going to the center and being in that club and doing what these, AGP men leading the groups are making me do, making me paint signs and clean up and do all the work for them, even though they think that they're such traditional females, but they're making the young lesbian women who have a confusion about their sex, they're asking them to do all this work for them. And I've heard this before. There's another one, it's like Detransition or XX or something, who I don't know if these channels are still active, but she said that she got canceled severely in her upstate New York town and at whatever the Alphabet Center was there, when she reported to them that there was some suspicious hanky-panky going on with one of these men like Nettie, who was leading that group. And they wouldn't, I mean, this sounded like possibly child sexual molestation, and she didn't feel that she could report it, and the people leading the center were not willing to face into that they might have a real problem on their hands. And this is one reason why I was talking about that cluster of suicides in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because I'm very suspicious that there's someone in that Alphabet Center who would have been the connection between all those four young people's, death at their own hands. So I'm just sort of putting all these things together, but several detransitioners have mentioned I have so much more time. And in fact, I know that Helena Kerschnar, who had appeared on Tucker Carlson and quite a few other panels, she was one of the originators of Peak Resistance, PIQUE Resistance channel, which was all women who detransitioned. Helena found that she was really, really more and more unwell mentally and psychologically when she got on testosterone. And I think she had a self-harm incident and stuff, and then she detransitioned. And for part of her healing, my understanding is she went and worked a low-paying job doing menial farm labor, and it helped her feel reconnected to our Mother Earth. And this is why I am going out on this limb. I'm taking a chance with, being accused of nonsense, because I know that I'm right. I have seen top psychologists work with the special needs children that I taught and do something that they didn't necessarily call the wellness checklist, but they were, exploring all these things. And especially children who have a condition of being somewhere on the autism spectrum, a lot of times we would find that they wanted to restrict which activities in the playtime that they chose to do. And we had to desensitize them from the anxiety of doing new things and just getting them to go to the painting table or in some way separate from the Legos, which have a very, very predictable sequence of tasks. And we really needed them to learn to tolerate sort of unexpected stuff, learn to tolerate a little bit of paint splatter on your clothes and on your hands and things like that. And so this is all connected. And, really, I think that if this field had instead consulted the special education teachers, we would have been able to reel it all back and keep people out of the land of the pink mist, a land which has no boundaries. So I can't do so much outside today because of this smoke condition that we have. Oh, and also around Thanksgiving, I will be in Duchess County, New York. And if you contact me, if you are a subscriber and a fan, if you contact me through my blog, link below through the contact form, and you happen to be in the area, we would have to have, some direct phone contact and stuff. But I think that I have a few fans over there in Duchess County. That's my understanding. And we could figure something out. I can't give my location here, but I can tell you I will be at a certain location in Dutchess County around Thanksgiving if you're nearby. That would be something. I would love to do a video, with some subscribers, anybody who's willing to anonymously with a pseudonym, come on screen. So, time, exercise, mind body connection. That's the whole deal.